The Green Bay Packers find themselves in a precarious position as they grapple with a significant depth issue along their defensive line. This isn't just a minor bump in the road. It's an urgent call to action for the front office and coaching staff. With the offseason's roster changes and a series of unfortunate injuries, the Packers must seek a reliable veteran to stabilize their defense. Enter the suggestion from CBS Sports analyst Garrett Podale, signing the 8-time Pro Bowl edge rusher, Von Miller. The recent trade of star edge rusher Rashawn Gary to the Dallas Cowboys has left a gaping hole on the defensive front. Gary's 7.5 sacks from last season are not easily replaceable, and the urgency to find a solution is palpable, adding to the challenge. The team is expected to be without superstar linebacker Micah Parsons for up to 4 games, as he continues to recover from a torn ACL suffered late last year. The Packers are in desperate need of a capable veteran to anchor the edge opposite former first-round pick Lucas Van Ness while Parsons rehabs. Miller's resume speaks volumes. As a 2-time Super Bowl champion and the NFL's active leader in career sacks with an impressive 138.5, he knows precisely how to apply pressure on opposing quarterbacks. However, the prospect of signing a 37-year-old defensive lineman does carry its risks. Yet, Miller demonstrated his enduring value last season with the Washington Commanders. Despite only participating in 37% of defensive snaps, he still managed to record 9.0 sacks and 36 pressures, showcasing remarkable durability for his age by playing in every single game. Podale makes a compelling case for Miller fitting into the Packers' current situation perfectly. With Parsons sidelined, Miller could step in and provide the stability that the defense desperately needs at the edge rusher spot. Once Parsons returns to full health, the coaching staff can seamlessly transition Miller into a specialized, situational pass rushing role. This strategic rotation not only keeps the veteran fresh for critical third downs, but also positions the team for a potential late-season playoff push. By deploying him strictly in obvious passing situations, the Packers can maximize Miller's elite pass rushing traits while minimizing the physical toll on his body. Let's be clear, this isn't just a hypothetical scenario. The Packers have legitimate odds to compete for a Super Bowl this season, as evidenced by their plus 1,500 odds, which rank as the 7th best in the NFL, according to DraftKings Sportsbook. General Manager Brian Gutekunst has demonstrated a willingness to sign veteran stopgaps, as seen with his recent acquisition of defensive tackle Javon Hargrave. Adding Von Miller would be an extension of this successful strategy, aligning perfectly with the team's current needs and aspirations. The prospect of securing a proven winner like Miller offers immediate stability and elite production for the defense. As the Packers front office looks to finalize a roster capable of making a championship run, the idea of bringing this legendary pass rusher to Wisconsin stands out as one of the most logical, if not essential, moves they could make. As we transition to the next news item, the implications of these roster decisions continue to reverberate throughout the organization. What other changes might be on the horizon for the Packers as they seek to solidify their path to the playoffs? In a pivotal moment for the Green Bay Packers, the 2026 mock draft showcased a whirlwind of trades that could redefine the team's trajectory in the coming years. This draft simulation put the Packers in a position of power, allowing them to reshape their roster while addressing critical needs. The first significant move came when the Buffalo Bills entered the fray, eager to bolster their defense with edge R. Mason Thomas from Oklahoma. The Packers, recognizing the value of their picks, traded away the 91st, 165th, and 168th selections in this draft, alongside a second-round pick in 2027. This wasn't just a transaction. It was a strategic maneuver that highlighted the Packers' focus on building a formidable defense. Yet it also pointed to the lingering questions about their current defensive unit, which ranked in the middle tier last season. As we dive deeper into this draft, it's essential to note that cornerback Keanu Scott is projected to be available in the second round, fitting one of Green Bay's most pressing needs. Scott stands out as the 4th-ranked prospect at his position, boasting above-average traits that could translate into immediate contributions on the field. His quickness and processing skills are commendable, and it's evident that if Green Bay is serious about shoring up their secondary, Scott could be the answer they've been searching for. Meanwhile, the Cincinnati Bengals were not to be outdone, reaching out to the Packers for the 91st pick. This trade sent the 91st selection to Cincinnati in exchange for a 2027 third and fourth round pick. The Bengals utilized that pick to draft safety Bud Clark out of TSU. But the question remains, did Green Bay give up too much value? Only time will tell, but as the Packers look to build for the future, these additional picks could prove to be gold. At this point in the draft, the Packers' needs continued to mount, particularly at the tackle position. Enter OT Tristan Lee from Clemson, who stands tall at 6 feet 5 inches and weighs 320 pounds. He's a physical presence on the line and could provide the Packers with much-needed strength. However, one must be cautious. His lack of flexibility and mobility could be a concern at the professional level. The Packers must ensure that they are not just drafting based on size, but also considering how his playing style will mesh with their offensive scheme. As we sift through the options left on the board, edge Vincent Anthony Jr. emerges as a more balanced choice. With impressive size and explosiveness, he provides a potential upside that could pay dividends if Green Bay can enhance his technique and execution. Drafting Anthony could signal a commitment to developing talent, rather than relying solely on established stars. Then, there's WR Kevin Coleman Jr. While he may be somewhat undersized at 5 feet 11 inches and 180 pounds, his quickness and elite route running ability are enticing. The Packers need to address their receiving core, especially as they wait to evaluate the long-term value of last year's first-round selection, Matthew Golden. Coleman could bring a fresh dynamic to the offense, one that could complement their existing playmakers. As the draft unfolded, the Baltimore Ravens expressed interest in trading for a pick, leading to another swap that netted Green Bay a future fourth-round selection in 2027 in exchange for picks 168, 201, and 255. This indicates a savvy awareness of the team's position within the draft, as the Packers effectively turned 3 selections into more valuable assets for the future, while the Ravens drafted O.C. Jake Slaughter out of Florida. And just when it seemed like the dust might settle, the Denver Broncos came knocking, eager to move up in the draft. This transaction led to Green Bay acquiring a first-round pick for next year, a significant haul that could provide them with tremendous flexibility moving forward. They sent a collection of picks, including the 2027 second, third, and 3 fourth-round selections, clearly indicating that the front office is playing the long game. In summary, this Packers 2026 mock draft was not only a showcase of strategic trades, but also an insight into how Green Bay plans to navigate their future. They walked away with essential players like Scott, Davis, Anthony, and Coleman, while also securing a wealth of draft capital for the next year. With a busy draft strategy that involved trading away several picks, 52, 91, 168, 201, and 236, along with future selections. The Packers are clearly positioning themselves to be competitive now and well into the future. As we transition to the next segment, one thing becomes clear. The Packers are not just building a team for the present. They're crafting a legacy that could redefine their place in the NFL hierarchy. The excitement is palpable, and as fans, we should be ready to embrace the journey ahead. The Green Bay Packer journey in the 1983 season was nothing short of a wild ride, filled with thrills, chaos, and a fair share of heartbreak. It was a season marked by explosive offensive prowess, yet marred by defensive lapses that often left fans on the edge of their seats. As we delve deeper into the nail-biting encounter against the Cleveland Browns, it's clear that this was more than just a game. It was a reflection of the roller coaster that was the Packers season. Entering this pivotal Week 10 showdown against the Browns, the Packers were sitting at a precarious 4-5, having just dropped 2 consecutive games. The offensive firepower was undeniable, spearheaded by quarterback Lynn Dickey, who had a cadre of elite receivers at his disposal. Future Hall of Famer James Lofton, John Jefferson, and tight end Paul Kaufman formed a trio capable of striking fear into any defense. However, the shadow of inconsistency loomed large, particularly on the defensive side, where injuries and missed tackles had plagued the team all season. Head coach Bart Starr was undoubtedly feeling the pressure to turn things around, especially with the playoffs looming just ahead. The stakes were high as the Browns entered the game with a 5-4 record, fresh off an overtime victory that had kept their playoff hopes alive. Under the guidance of coach Sam Radigliano, they were poised to make a statement against the struggling Packers. The atmosphere at Milwaukee County Stadium was charged, with fans hungry for a win that could reignite the team's playoff aspirations. As the game unfolded, it felt like a classic shootout. The Packers received the opening kickoff and swiftly moved down the field, with Dickey connecting with Lofton and Jefferson for substantial gains. Yet, just as the excitement began to build, disaster struck. A fumble by Harlan Huckelby halted the drive, a frustrating reminder of the mistakes that had haunted the Packers throughout the season. The Browns capitalized on their opportunity, pushing deep into Green Bay territory before a fortunate fumble recovery by linebacker Mike Douglas breathed life back into the Packers. This was the moment when Lynn Dickey showcased his undeniable talent. He orchestrated a brilliant 10-play, 89-yard drive, culminating in an 18-yard touchdown pass to Jefferson. With that, the Packers took a lead they desperately needed. The elation was short-lived, however, as the very nature of the Packers' season came back to haunt them. A holding penalty and an interception returned for a touchdown by Cleveland's Bob Golick meant that the Packers' lead evaporated just as quickly as it had been established. Yet, true to form, the Packers rallied. With a little help from a Browns penalty, Dickey found Kaufman for another touchdown, putting Green Bay back in the driver's seat at 14-7. Rookie Tim Lewis, filling in for the injured Mike McCoy, made his mark with his first career interception, a moment he described with pride. His performance would not go unnoticed, as the young cornerback showed flashes of brilliance amidst a turbulent season. The excitement didn't stop there. Dickey connected again with backup tight end Gary Lewis, extending the lead to 21-7. But just when it seemed the Packers had seized control, the Browns mounted a furious drive towards the end of the half, only to be denied on a fourth down attempt. This was a critical moment, showcasing the Packers' resilience, but one couldn't shake the feeling that defensive lapses could still turn the tide. As the second half commenced, the Browns switched quarterbacks, bringing in Brian Sipe, who quickly found himself on the receiving end of another interception by Lewis. With the pressure mounting, Dickey led the Packers down the field once more, capped off by a 2-yard touchdown to Ellis, pushing the score to 28-7. But just when it appeared the Packers were in control, Cleveland clawed back, with Sipe throwing 2 late touchdowns to bring the game to a tense conclusion. With the clock winding down and the Browns threatening, the Packers managed to recover an onside kick, sealing a hard-fought 35-21 victory. Dickey finished the game with impressive stats, 228 yards, 4 touchdowns, but the 3 interceptions were a stark reminder of the inconsistency that plagued his play. Ellis, too, had a standout game, rushing for 86 yards and securing a touchdown through the air. Jefferson, despite the ups and downs, recorded his last 100-yard receiving game, a bittersweet milestone in the arc of his career. In the aftermath, Coach Bart Starr emphasized the importance of controlling their own destiny, a sentiment that resonated with the fans. Yet the reality was that the season continued its unpredictable trend. The Packers would ultimately finish at 8-7, falling short in a win-and-in scenario against the Bears, leading to Starr's departure at season's end. The 1983 Packers may not have been a championship-caliber team, but they epitomized the essence of what it means to be a fan of Green Bay. They were thrilling, frustrating, and always exciting, embodying the highs and lows that come with the game. This shootout against the Browns was a testament to that spirit, showcasing the explosive offense while leaving fans yearning for a more consistent defense. As we reflect on this wild season, one can't help but wonder what could have been if the stars had aligned just a little differently. So, as we gear up for the next season, let's carry this passion and commitment into the future. The Packers have the potential to rise up again, and as fans, we'll be right here, ready to support our team no matter the challenges ahead. Don't forget to subscribe to stay updated and share your thoughts on the 1983 season in the comments below. What do you think about the legacy of that thrilling team? Your voice matters in the Packers community.